Good morning. Ah, discuss naman natin yung module 30 natin. Kung previous discussion natin ay sales ng inventory, ngayon naman same lang din pero ang ibebenta is intercompany sales ng PPE naman. Ano nga ulit yung standard na go-govern sa PPE? PAS 16, di ba? Tapos anong dalawang method niya? Cost method tsaka revaluation method. Okay, discuss natin kung paano siya computein pagka kunin yung consolidated PPE sa statement of financial position ng consolidated financial statement. So ganito lang yung formula niya. PPE ng net ni parent. Pag sinabing net, cost minus accumulated depreciation. 'Di ba? PPE net ng subsidiary, i-minus mo daw yung unamortized deferred gain or unamortized deferred loss plus financial fair value adjustment if any. Okay, yun yung pag-compute ng consolidated PPE. Pagka naman depreciation expense, yung depreciation expense ni parent tsaka depreciation expense ni subsidiary, i-minus mo lang yung amortization deferred gain tapos add mo lang yung deferred loss. Mabilis lang to. Okay. On January 1, 20X1, Bright Company acquired 75% interest in Dal Company for 180,000. On this date, the carrying amount of Dal net identifiable asset was 160,000 equal to the fair value, di ba? Non-controlling interest was measured using proportionate share method. The financial statement of the entities on December 31, 20X1 shows the following information. Ano to 1 year after acquisition yung binigay. Additional information. No dividends were declared by either entity during 20X1. There is no impairment of goodwill. However, on January 1, 20X1, right after business combination, Bright Company sold equipment with historical cost of 120,000 and accumulated depreciation of 720,000 for 60,000. So, magkano yun? 120,000 daw minus ng 72. So, sa book ng nagbenta 48,000, nabenta niya ng 60,000. So, may unrealized gain siya na 12,000, di ba? Bright Company had depreciating this equipment over the useful life of 10 years using the straight line method. Dal Company decided to continue this accounting policy and depreciate the equipment over its remaining useful life of 4 years. So, ilan na lang yung remaining useful life niya? 4 years. So, ilang years natin i-amortize yung 12,000 na unrealized gain? 4 years din. Okay. Ano ba yung mga required? Letter A. What is the carrying amount of the equipment sold by Bright Company to Dal Company in the consolidated financial statement? Ito yung formula. Kunin mo yung historical cost niya. Tandaan, 'di ba? Pag ang gagawin natin sa pag-compute ng cost ng equipment na yon sa consolidated financial statement is as if hindi na benta yung equipment na yon. So, kung paano siya i-account ng nagbenta before siya ibenta. Ganoon natin siya i-depreciate. So, 120 divide 10. Kasi, di ba, ilan ba useful life niya? 10 years. So, 12,000 per year. So, kung 72,000 na yung accumulated depreciation niya nung January 1, 20X1, plusan lang natin ng 12. Kasi for 1 year na depreciation. Di ba? 72 plus 12. 84,000 yung magiging accumulated depreciation niya. So, 120,000 minus 84,000 as if hindi siya nagbenta, diba? 36,000. Nakuha yun. Dapat lang. B. How much is the consolidated equipment net daw? So, kunin natin. Ang equipment net ni Bright Company is 400,000 plus 190,000 yung equipment ni Dell Company. Ano to? The financial statement daw of the entities on December 31, 20x1. Ibig sabihin, nangyari na dito yung sale of equipment sa intercompany. Diba? I-less lang natin yung unamortized gain. Diba magkano nga yung computed natin gain? 12,000. Tapos i-amortize yun ng ilang years? 4 years kasi diba yun yung remaining useful life. So, ganun lang. So, 400 plus 190,000 minus 45,000. Yung 45,000 na yun, paano nga nakuha? Yan yung amount sa DAL book yung bumili, 'di ba? Tapos ipa-plus lang natin kung magkano yung talagang equipment. Which is 36,000 yung na-compute natin in requirement letter A. Alam niyo na 36 ha. Kung nalilito kayo sa 35, ulitin natin kung paano nakuha yung 45,000 na yan. Magkano siya nabili daw? 60,000, di ba? Ilang years siya useful life daw na remaining? 4. So, 15,000 yung depreciation niya per year. So, ang book value niya sa book ng bumili ay 60,000 minus 15. Ayan, 45. So, i-minus mo lang yung 45 tapos i-plus mo yung totoong value niya, 581. Meron ding shortcut daw. Yung 190,000 plus 400,000, hindi lang nasama sa table. I-minus mo lang yung 9,000. Paano ba nakuha yung 9,000 na to? Diba magkano yung unrealized gain? 12,000, diba? I-divide mo lang ng 4. 12,000 divide 4. 3,000 per year. 1 year pa lang. So, 12. Na-amortize mo na yung 3,000. 9,000. Kaya, 400 plus 190 minus 9,000 is equal to 581,000. Kung saan kayo mas madadalian nyo yung gawin nyo, pero para sa akin, mas madali itong taas. Okay, requirement C. How much is the consolidated depreciation expense? E, kunin mo lang yung depreciation expense nila, 400 plus 12,000. Tapos, i-minus mo lang yung 3,000 na na-amortize. Bakit i-minus? Kasi gain siya. Pero kung loss siya, i-add mo, diba? Gets? So, 49,000. Tapos, kung gusto mo namang pahirapan yung sarili mo, gawin natin yung isang formula. 40 plus 12, i-minus mo yung depreciation ng bagong bili. Tapos, kunin mo yung supposedly depreciation ng 12,000, 49,000. Okay, last. Prepare the draft December 31, 20x consolidated statement of financial position and consolidated statement of profit or loss. Gawin nyo lang ulit yun. Yung parang ginawa natin sa day 10 tsaka day 11. Step 1, di ba? Unamortized balance of deferred gain is computed as below. Yung 12,000 times 3 over 4. So, magkano yung deferred gain? 9,000. Okay. Step 2, yung analysis of net asset. Acquisition date daw. Pinili natin siya ng 106,000 equal to fair value. So, walang goodwill. Diba? Okay. Tapos, Yung equity niya at the end, 210. So, ilan yung increase? 50,000. Okay? Computation of goodwill. Consideration transferred. Yung investment in subsidiary, yun yung gagamitin natin. 180,000. Magkano controlling interest? Proportionate daw. Method yung gagamitin. Hindi, 160 times 25%. 40,000. So, yung total amount niya, 220,000. I-minus mo lang yung per value of net identifiable asset acquired, 160,000. Ang goodwill ay 60,000. Okay? Step 4, non-controlling interest. Kunin mo lang kasi 'di ba? Okay, yan. 210,000 times 25%, 52,500. No goodwill nga pala is attributable to NCI. Bakit? Kasi proportionate method yung ginamit. Pero pag fair value method, kailangan ihiwalay natin yung goodwill kay NCI, tsaka kay non-controlling interest, tsaka dun sa parent, diba? Pero since proportionate share yung ginamit, proportionate method, walang goodwill kay NCI. Ang goodwill ay na kay parent lahat. Step 5, consolidated retained earnings. Diba pag consolidated retained earnings, ang matitirang retained earnings na lang is yung kay parent. 110,000. Tapos i-adjust natin siya, di ba? Yung share natin dun sa increase in net asset niya, which is yung 50,000 times 75%. Okay? 37,500. Tapos yung downstream transaction natin na 9,000. So, ang total adjustment natin ay 28,500. Ang total consolidated retained earnings natin ay 138,500. Okay, consolidated profit or loss naman tayo. Revenue, pagplasin nyo lang. 300 plus 80. Ay, profit na pala siya nag-start. 240 plus 50. Ngayon, kay parent, may unamortized gain pa daw na 9,000. Downstream, di ba? 231,000. Tapos, net consolidated profit or loss list, 231,000 tsaka 50,000. 281,000. Ang consolidated profit nila ay 281,000. Tapos, kumpitin naman natin yung profit or loss attributable to owner of parent and NCI. So, yung kay parent talaga, pero yung sa subsidiary, ihahatiin natin. Kung 50,000 yung income niya, ihahati lang natin to sa sa dalawa. 75% kay parent, tapos 25% kay NCI. So, ang profit or loss attributable to the parent and is yung profit ni parent plus yung share niya sa profit ni subsidiary, 268,500. Tapos kay NCI is 12,500. Tapos computin lang natin yung verify na natin yung financial position. Sa equipment, 581,000. Sa nakuha, yung kinumpute natin kanina. Ayun, sa taas. Investment in subsidiary account, ano yung mangyari nga doon? Mawawala, diba? Kasi kasali yan sa consolidated. Eliminating entries natin. Other asset, 200 tsaka 45. Goodwill, 60,000. 886,000. Pagplasin nyo lang yung liabilities, 95,000. Share capital, kanino nga lang matitira kay parent, diba? Tapos, retained earnings, yung consolidated retained earnings na nakuha natin. 138,500. Anong i-checking natin dapat? Dapat bangga yung total assets tsaka total liabilities and equity. Okay? Sa equity naman, kunin natin yung equity attributable to the owner parent. 738,500. Saan nakuha yun? Tapos, yung kay equity na non-controlling interest na 52,500 yung nakuha natin dito sa step 4. So, ang total equity ay 791,000. Itong 738,500, pinag-plus-plus lang to 95,600, tsaka 138,500. Plus mo lang yung non-controlling interest. So, ang checking natin is dapat equal in total asset tsaka pag binangga mo sa total liabilities and equity, including yung NCI. Consolidated profit or loss, pagplasin mo lang yung revenue, 300 plus 80,000. 380. Depreciation expense, nakuha natin yan sa requirement letter C. 49,000. Other expense, pagplasin mo lang. Okay? Gain on sale of equipment eliminated. As if walang nangyari. $281,000 ang profit for the year. Tapos, paghiwalay lang natin yung 281,000. Yung 268,500 kay parent. Tapos, yung 12,500 na profit ay kay NCI. Okay. Activity 5 tayo, last. On January 1, 20X1, the company acquired 75% interest in Knight Company for 216,000. On this date, the carrying amount of net identifiable asset was 192,000, equal to the fair value. Non-controlling interest was measured using proportionate share method. Ibig sabihin yung goodwill ulit kanino? Kay parent lang, diba? Kasi proportionate method. The financial statement of the entities on December 31, 20X1 shows the following information. Ulitin ko itong FS na to ay December 31, pero yung acquisition nangyari noong January 1, 20X1. So, 1 year after. No dividends were declared during the year daw, 20X1. There's no impairment of goodwill then. However, on January 1, 20X1, right after the business combination, Day Company, sino nga ulit si Day? Si Day Company yung acquirer. Sold equipment with a historical cost of 144,000 and accumulated depreciation of 86,000 to Knight Company for 72,000. Day Company has been depreciating this equipment over the 10 years using straight line method. The company decided to continue this accounting policy and depreciate the equipment over its remaining useful life of 4 years. Di ba parang same problem lang, hindi ba lang yung amount tsaka yung pangalan? So alam nyo na yan, di ba? So, ang total cost dapat ang total historical cost niya, book value niya sa book ni Day, nung binenta niya ay 104 minus 86.4 57.6, pero binenta niya ng 72. So, meron siyang gain na 14.4. Ayan din, nakikita niyo sa gain on sale of equipment, 14.4. Okay. What is the carrying amount of the equipment sold by the company to Knight Company in the consolidated financial position? Guys, curious na lang to Ulitin natin ang cost ng equipment na binenta sa consolidated financial position ay yung cost ng equipment as if walang nagbenta. As if hindi siya nabenta. So, i-disregard natin yung 72,000 na pagbili sa kanya ni Knight Company. Ang itutuloy natin is i-depreciate tong actual niya. So, kung 144,000 yung cost niya is, tapos ang useful life niya 10 years, tapos remaining useful life daw nung binenta 4 years, pero 1 year ni nakaraan. So, 3 years na lang yung yung useful life niya natitira at December 31. De 144, divide mo lang ng 10, times mo lang ng 7. Yan yung accumulated depreciation niya dapat, minus 144. So, ang book value niya dapat ay 43.2. Gets? Isipin nyo lang yung churis yung tanong. Tandaan nyo pagka nagkaroon ng downstream na sale ng equipment ang magiging cost niya sa consolidated financial statement is yung cost ng equipment na yun as if hindi siya nabenta dun sa intercompany niya. I-disregard natin kung magkano siya sa book ng bumili Itutuloy natin kung magkano yung accounting policy niya sa book ng nagbenta for the consolidated financial position. Okay? Letter B, how much is the consolidated equipment net? Yung ginawa natin kanina yan. Kunin mo lang yung 480,000 tsaka 228,000. So, nakuha mo na yung consolidated nila. Tapos, i-less mo lang yung unamortized gain. Magkano nga yung gain? 14.4, diba? Ilang years daw nung binili? Yung useful life, 4 years. Pero, diba, nung nakaraan na 1 taon. Bawas na. 3/4 na lang yung value niya. 14.4 times mo ng 3/4. Yan na lang yung unamortized cost niya unamortized gain on sale of equipment natin. So ayun, 480 plus 228,000 minus 10.8. Ang consolidated equipment natin ay 697,200. Okay, punta naman tayo sa C. How much is the consolidated depreciation expense? Kunin mo lang yung depreciation expense tapos yung 48,000 plus 14.4. Okay, tapos i-adjust natin yung amortization of deferred gain. Pag deferred loss, i-plus mo. Pero since gain siya, ibawas natin siya. So, 3.6. Ano ba yung rationale niyan? Bakit nga ba kailangan ibawas natin kung yung deferred gain? Tandaan, sa night ko, yung sa bumili, dinepreciate niya equipment na yun dun sa selling price na 72,000. Diba? Pero pagka i-consolidated natin siya as if walang bentahang nangyari. So, dapat tinuloy lang natin yung pag-depreciate natin dun sa cost niya dati. Kaya siya binawas. Ayan, 58.8. Paulit-ulit yun ang solve yun, magigets nyo yan. Okay. D. Prepare a draft of the December 31, 20x1 consolidated statement of financial position and consolidated statement of profit or loss. Ganun lang din sa kanina. Step 1. Alamin natin yung unamortized balance ng deferred gain. 14.4 times 3/4. Magkano lang? 10.8. Okay? Step 2. Analysis of net changes in net asset ng subsidiary. Magkano daw binili? 192,000, diba? Equal to the fair value. Walang adjustment, nil. 192,000. Tapos, kunin natin yung net carrying amount niya at year-end. Paano natin makukuha yun? Yung equity niya. 252. Paano nakuha yun? 120,000 na share capital tsaka 132,000 na retained earnings. So, ila-increase 60,000. Computin natin yung goodwill. Magkano daw natin binili? 216,000. Tapos, non-controlling interest. 192,000 times 25% yung non-controlling interest, 48,000. 264,000, i-minus mo lang yung magkano natin siya binili, 192,000. Ang goodwill ay 72,000. Non-controlling interest in net asset. Magkano ba yung net assets niya? 252,000 times 25%. Since proportionate method yung pag-compute ng NCI, edi malamang walang goodwill siyang share. So, 63,000. Okay? Kumpitin naman natin yung consolidated retained earnings. Kunin natin yung retained earnings ni parent, 132,000 plus yung changes sa retained earnings ay yung net changes kay kay subsidiary. 6,000 times share natin na 75, kaya nakuha yung 45,000, tapos yung unamortized deferred gain na 10,800. Okay? So, 34,200. So, ang total consolidated retained earnings ay 166,200. Kumpitin naman natin yung statement of profit or loss. Kunin mo lang yung profit niya agad. 288 plus 60,000. Tapos, unamortized gain. Diba 14.4 dapat to? Kaso nakaraan na isang taon, kaya 10.8 na lang yung ibabaynos mo. 277,200 tapos 60,000 sa kanya. So, ayun na. Okay, tapos computin naman natin yung profit or loss attributable to the owner of parent and NCI. Kay parent, syempre sa kanya lang, 277,200. Tapos, share in profit na 60,000, 45 kay parent, hinati lang 60 na 75%, saka yung 15 sa kanya, 32,000, 15,000. Tapos, i-prepare na natin yung financial statement. Investment in subsidiary, eliminated. Equipment, yun na-compute natin kanina. Other asset, pagplasin nyo lang. Tapos, goodwill, 72,000. Nga pala yung goodwill, saan nga siya ulit? Non-current asset siya, ya. Tapos, hindi siya ina-amortize. Sinatest lang siya at least annually for impairment. Ang total asset ay 1,063,200. Liability, pagplasin mo lang, 114. Share capital, kay parent lang. Retained earnings, yun ang compute natin na consolidated retained earnings. Ang total equity attributable to the parent ay 886,200. Tapos, i-plus mo lang yung non-controlling interest na compute natin. Dapat yung magiging total ng equity tsaka ng liability ay mag-i-equal sa total asset para malaman mong tama ka. Revenue, pagplasin mo lang yung revenue. Depreciation expense, yun na-compute natin. Yung other expenses, pagplasin mo lang. Yung gain on sale of equipment, eliminated kasi as if walang nangyari. Bakit wala? Kasi ang nagbentahan, di ba? Related parties, subsidiary mo tsaka yung parent. So, sa consolidated, wala nga kayo isa lang kayo. So, kailangan mawala siya. Tapos, bibiyakin lang natin yung profit for the year na 337,200. Yung pa natin na-compute yung step 7. Yun lang. Solve nyo lang ulit. Bye-bye.